Picture this, you just finished a lecture in medical school and you just realized it's time for you to study. So you pulled out your materials, you pulled out your lecture slides, even opened your textbooks and studied the topic you were taught. But after a week you realized you couldn't remember any single thing you had read the week before. And then you start to ask yourself, why can't I remember anything I read last week? Does that sound a bit familiar? The reason you can't seem to remember what you studied is because you have failed to implement one simple technique: active recall. In medical school, you are constantly studying a large amount of topics every single day, and you're expected to keep up with the material. And so because of that, you need a strategy to help you remember what you are studying for longer periods of time. And that is where active recall comes in. In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys what exactly active recall is and practical techniques in which you can implement it into your study routine. Hi, my name is monimeetsmed and I'm a final year medical student here in Nigeria, and I make medicine and lifestyle content. So if that is the kind of content you're interested in, do not hesitate to like and subscribe. Okay, so let's just jump straight into the video. So first of all, what is active recall? Active recall is a learning technique which involves you actively retrieving the information which you have acquired as opposed to passively just rereading your notes. Active recall is an effective technique because it forces your brain to retrieve the information which you have acquired. It also helps you to see the gaps in the information, and it helps to strengthen your memory of the topic. Active recall, it challenges your brain. It takes a lot of mental efforts to try to retrieve or recall what you've read. But putting that effort helps to solidify the information which you've read previously. Active recall is not just a magic hack to help you to just, pass your exams, but it's a system-based study method. Okay, so now that we know what active recall is, let's get into the different methods in which we can implement it into our study routine. The first and most popular method used by a lot of medical students, and also my personal favorite method of active recall, is flashcards. If you watch my medical school vlogs, then you've most likely seen me using or making flashcards while I study. Flashcards are popularly used by a lot of medical students, and I think that is because it eliminates the stress of making notes. As we all know, in medical school, there is a large amount of information which you have to know and read, and making notes all the time can be very, very stressful. So with flashcards, you're not tirelessly making notes. Instead, you are making flashcards and you are making questions instead of just writing notes. When it comes to flashcards, you can do it in two ways. You can either make the paper flashcards, so that would require using a pen and a paper and making questions and making answers. But there are apps that are available for you to make flashcards. My personal favorite is Anki, but there are other apps like Quizlet available. When it comes to making flashcards, it's pretty simple, and because you are the one making those flashcards, you are making those questions created to for yourself. Flashcards have two sides. They have the side for making your questions and the side for the answers. So instead of just writing the definition, instead you go to the question section of that flashcard and you type, and then at the answer section you then type the definition. And so that is how you continue making your flashcards using these apps. So with flashcards, when it comes to actually using or doing active recall, after you make all of those flashcards, when you study the topic, the next time you go through that topic, you are not opening your notes again. You are going straight to those flashcards instead. And so when it's time to review the cards, it's going to show up as questions. When the question pops up, you don't just click to flip the card. You look at the question and then you try to recall the answer. Try to remember the answer. And even if you don't remember every single thing from the answer, it is okay. By the time you flip the cards to the answer section, it shows you the answer. You then review, look at the correct answer and see, okay, where were your gaps? But before you flip the card, ensure to test your memory. Try to retrieve that information first, because it's going to help you identify the areas you need to work on. And if you realize that you're not getting the flashcards, you're not getting your answers right, flip them again, go through the questions again, and then test yourself till you understand, until you can recall what you have studied. The second technique for doing active recall, if you're the kind of person that likes to take notes, then you might actually want to listen to this one. The second technique involves you making questions instead of rewriting notes. When you are reading about a topic, you are not rewriting that information, you are instead writing down questions for yourself. So after going through the slides, you make your questions, then you go through those questions, you test yourself, you try to see, okay, can I remember what I have read? Any gaps, you reference your lecture slides. If you still choose to make notes, if you're the kind of person that just has to make notes, as you are writing down the notes, write questions just beside it. That's something that I've actually, started to implement in my study routine, and it has really proven very helpful. So that the next time I want to go through that topic, I am not opening the notes that I took. I am going straight to those questions, and then I'm trying to review those questions. I'm trying to test myself, and then anything I cannot recall, I reference the notes. And so that just makes studying easier and faster, and also helps to reinforce your memory. My next method for active recall is mind mapping. Mind mapping is another very efficient method of studying, because with mind mapping, you organize the concepts in ways that you can understand it. So whenever we learn topics in school, we are not just given those topics, each of those topics are actually taught in, different concepts, different segments, with types, classification, definitions, explanations, and all of that. So whenever you get a topic, you then organize those concepts in ways that you can understand. And organizing things in concepts helps you to get the bigger picture of that topic, so that when you are trying to recall this information, you remember each segment. You remember that, okay, this segment and this segment of this topic is very important, and so you remember concepts in that kind of segmented way. So with mind mapping, you have the central piece, and the central piece is the main topic you are trying to study. Central piece, which is the topic, has subtopics, and so the subtopics branch out from the center piece. With each of those subtopics, you then break them down into detailed information. With mind mapping, you are able to organize the information in sort of like a graphical chart, in a way that is customized to you. With mind mapping, you are organizing the information in a way in which you can recall, and it is very easy for you to see your gaps in each topic, and it is very easy for you to see how you can work on those gaps. If you're a visual learner, I think mind mapping is a technique which you will greatly benefit from. You can customize it. If you're the kind of person that likes to use maybe colored markers or colored pens, then you can also implement that and make these charts which looks colorful, and design it in a way that just works for you and makes it easy for you to remember often. The last and final technique I have with active recall is the Feynman technique. The Feynman technique is a learning technique which helps you to recall or retrieve the information which you have acquired by explaining that information to someone in a way that is understandable. So let's say you just finished studying a specific topic, and you want to test yourself to see how well you understood the topic and how much of it you can remember. You then try to explain that topic. So with explaining, it could be maybe explaining to a friend. You could recite it to yourself. So immediately after studying, you try to recite or explain what you've read. It's very easy for you to think you understand a topic very well. It's time for you to explain it to. And the Feynman technique is very helpful in the sense that you can easily identify the gaps in the information which you have acquired and see where you still need to work on and try to understand the topic a bit more. If you're the type of person that studies with a group of people, the Feynman technique I think would be fantastic for you, because you have people around you who also might have information about that topic. They've probably also read it, and so after you've studied it, when you try to then explain the topic to them, try to test yourself and see what you can remember, those people will also help to show you the areas in which you may not be too strong in. So while you're explaining the topic, your friend will tell you, this is actually not too correct. When you're studying with people, the Feynman technique has a role to play. I've explained to you what active recall is and the different techniques in which you can use active recall. But active recall will only be effective if you combine it with spaced repetition. And so in the next video, I will be talking about spaced repetition and practical ways in which you can implement spaced repetition into your study routine. So definitely look out for that video. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, do not hesitate to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. Also turn on your post notifications so you can get notified whenever I post a video, and endeavor to share this video to whoever you think will need it. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video.